Hi. So today we are going to be talking about animal structures and we're going to be looking at major organs, so guts. And that's why my creepy little friend is here to help us. So I'm going to go through the abdomen and, well, abdomen, thorax, and just talk about the major organs and their basic functions. And there's a very good chance that at some point in this video, everything falls out because that's what's been happening. So, okay. So, first of all, you can see inside of him because the skin has been removed and they've also removed the ribs, right? These bones, the skeleton, right? That's gone already. So if we had no bones there, you could see a lot of our organs would be very exposed and unprotected. Okay, so that goes back to the skeleton's major role being to protect and support, kind of like the stem of a plant. Okay, so starting up here, we've got the neck, the esophagus, and this greenish piece is what we would call the windpipe. Okay, and that comes down along with these veins and arteries, the blood vessels that carry blood, okay, into the thorax, the chest. And the first place that these go really are your lungs. So when we breathe air in, your chest gets bigger, your lungs fill with air. Okay, so these are your lungs. You have two lungs, and this is really just the front part of them. They go way back in there too. And you can see with our dummy here that they are full of blood vessels because what your lungs do is they help get oxygen into your blood. So all of this blood comes into your lungs and it gets filled with oxygen, right? That's the job of the lungs. I'm gonna take the other lung out, okay? And so you can see how much of your chest is filled with lung, quite a bit. And right here in the middle of the lungs is the heart, right? The heart pumps your blood, and so it's moving blood around your body, right? Into the lungs to get air, to get oxygen, and then throughout the rest of your body to take that oxygen and blood around. Okay, and so the heart is what keeps all of that moving. It's a muscle, and it kind of does like that. Pumps, okay? So with this dummy, we can take the heart apart, and you can see that there are big cavities where the blood comes in, the heart squeezes it and pumps it out. Just squeezes it in, pumps it out, okay? I'm gonna try to remove this. Okay. He doesn't want me to take his heart out. Okay, so this is the back half of the heart. And you can see that there's red blood vessels and blue blood vessels. And the reason for that is you really have two types of blood vessels. You have veins and arteries. And so a vein is what brings blood back to the heart. And an artery is what takes blood away from the heart once it's been into the heart, right? So it gets filled with oxygen, goes through the heart, the pumps it out to the body, gives oxygen to your arms and legs. And then the veins bring it all back. So it goes out in the arteries, red, back in the veins, blue. Red has lots of oxygen, the blue, your body has used the oxygen out of that blood. So that's your heart. It's about the size of your fist, okay? This is your windpipe, as I would call it. It probably has a more scientific name. It's a windpipe. So you breathe, that air goes down into your lungs, okay? Okay. Very carefully taking him apart. Now, if we move down, these are still lungs here, but I'm gonna leave those in because they're kind of behind the other parts. So this piece here that is on top is called your diaphragm. And your diaphragm is kind of like a barrier inside of your body that keeps your guts, your abdomen separated from your thorax, because we don't want any of that stuff that happens in your guts where your body is processing food to ever get up into there. So it's like a barrier. Okay, so this, and it's just a real thin thing. It's like a muscle that goes across diaphragm. I've been told that if you get the hiccups, it's because this muscle is sort of like having a spasm or a cramp, and it's what's causing all those hiccups, okay? Not sure if that's true or not. Now this black, dark colored organ, it's pretty large. This is called a liver, and most animals, all mammals for sure, have a liver, okay? And the liver's basic job is, it actually has several jobs, but one of the major jobs is to clean your blood, okay? It filters out blood, it filters out a lot of bad things that you don't want running around in your body, and then it sends them out, okay? So, liver. Underneath the liver, you know, they were kind of sitting together like that. You could kind of see this piece. Guess what that is? Doesn't look like you would think it would look. It sure doesn't look like it looks in cartoons. This is your stomach. A stomach. It's not your stomach. Your stomach is in your body. But it's a stomach, okay? So, stomach. And if we open it up, you can see that it's empty, right? So when you eat food, it goes down through your esophagus into your stomach. Inside of your stomach, there's acid that breaks down food, and it absorbs the good stuff, and it sends some of the rest of it out. Also, I'm not a doctor, okay? But this is your stomach. Okay, so below the stomach, this goopy looking curly, you know, it almost looks like a brain kind of, but it's not a brain, it's your intestines. So you have two kinds of intestines. You have a large intestine, okay, which is this big part around here, and its major job is reabsorbing water out of the food that is passing through it, okay? So it sucks the water out because your body needs to keep water so it doesn't get dehydrated, and then it goes into the small intestine, which is super, super, super long. And so your food, after it goes through your stomach, it goes into your intestines, and your body continues to break down the food and to remove nutrients so that your body can make energy out of your food, okay? So we're gonna pull that out. Intestines, okay? So, now, and you can see this artery runs all the way down into the legs, okay? At this point, I can probably take out the back of the lungs. So there's, you know, your lungs, there was still that much in there. That's a lot, right? That is one lung. It's big, okay? Here's the other lung. And now we can kind of see the back rib cage. So you have ribs on the front, you also have ribs in the back, right? And behind this esophagus and this artery would be your spine and a bunch of nerves. Okay, so now we've got this stuff. This is where Mr. Crocker had to Google some things and find out what some parts were. So this is your pancreas, okay? A pancreas. This is a spleen, okay? And the spleen and pancreas have a few jobs, but they, from what I could tell, they do a lot with your immune system. They do a lot with helping to create blood, create things that your body needs to fight off infections, okay? Again, not a doctor. So, and then this pink part, this is like the start of your intestines. So the food would come out of the stomach into there, and then down into your intestines, okay? And now we can see kidneys. So you have 2 kidneys, so do animals, right? Those are back in there. Artery, vein, spine, okay? That one doesn't come out. And then if we keep going down further, this guy is not coming out, and that's your bladder. That's what gets full when you have to go to the bathroom, number 1. Okay, so that's your bladder, way down in there. Okay, so I'm gonna go back through these organs. I'm not gonna try to put them back in on camera. I'm just gonna talk about what they are, and then we'll get into the head in the next segment, okay? So, kidneys, 2 kidneys, right? Above that, we had intestines, which helps process food, okay? Sitting on top of the intestines, stomach. Everybody has a stomach. Lots of animals, stomachs, okay? Sitting on top of your stomach, your liver, okay? On top of the liver is this muscle that may or may not have something to do with the hiccups, called a diaphragm. Separates your abdomen from your thorax, okay? On top of that, oh, I forgot this guy, pancreas, spleen, duodenum, something like that. It's the very start of your intestines, okay? Your heart, your blood pump, okay? Heart, super important. This was the windpipe, so all that air just went through there and into, it splits, goes into your right and left lungs, okay? And then these big honking things, very large, lungs. They fill up with air, the blood comes in there, and the blood gets air in it, and then it takes that throughout the rest of your body. Okay, second segment, we're gonna get into the head. So, you can see here that underneath this layer of skin and tissue, you have a skull, right? It's the skull. And you can also see his eyeballs. Ooh, creepy, creepy. Okay, so if I remove that, and I unhook him, okay. Well, what's inside of a skull, folks? It's a brain, okay? And your brain doesn't have a paper bag on it, but inside of your skull, you've got, you know, that's spine, muscle, brain. This is tongue, okay? Sinuses, your sinuses, okay? You can take half the brain off, and the brain has several different structures that we don't need to get into today. But you can see how all of that looks inside of a head, and in other mammals and in lots of other animals, you would see something similar. People have big brains, but animals, you know, they also have a skull and a lot of the same parts. Okay, animal structures.